I went out shopping today, going around the second-hand shops, and I found this little book, Arthur, Flower of Kings, from, is it printed in 1929? 1929, maybe. No, I can't even find it now. Really interesting stuff. I don't know much about the Grail legends and that. I did read a book, From Ritual to Romance, by Jesse L. Weston, which appears in Apocalypse Now. When Kurtz is in his compound, the camera pans down some books, and there's The Golden Bough by J.G. Fraser, and there's From Ritual to Romance by Jesse L. Weston. I always wondered what this book was about, and I bought it on eBay and I read it a couple of years ago in Mexico. It's a really, really interesting stuff. And I just found this, and I was thinking about her last night actually. It's like strange, and it's got like Arthur, King and Emperor, First English Story of Arthur, Welsh Stories of Arthur, Arthur's Knights in Romance, the Knights in Ballads, got poems, Arthur the Magnificent, the Fairy Queen, all this stuff, a Puritan and Romance. Looks really interesting, so I'm going to read this. And then for a couple of minutes later, 10 minutes later, I found this book about Tony Hancock. And just after I'd got this book, and then I just saw this image, and I thought, all right, I'm buying this as well. Look at that. Tony Hancock. It's this kind of deadpan, this deadpan king. I'm going to put that on the wall in the frame, that picture. Anyway, yeah. Lighter. Haven't done a video in ages, and deleted a lot of my videos, deleted a lot of my back catalogue. Because I can. Anyway, so yeah, I found a channel last night. Somebody was talking about it. A guy called Lion Sword from the States. He's got a really interesting channel actually. He does some really good monologues. He goes out for walks in the country, in the States, and does really good monologues. And he mentioned this channel. He's mentioned it a couple of times actually, and I got to look up this channel, and I found it. And it's called, I've got to move this thing, hold on, what's it called? Kismet Spiral. And it's a, I think she's from Finland, I could be wrong. Her name's Annika, and I think she lives in north of England somewhere. Not England anyway. Really good channel. It's like, oftentimes I go to a channel and I think, oh right, I found a good channel here, and then it's just like you go through their stuff and it's just like within a few minutes it's like, oh, it's just more of the same. And I always feel really good when I find a good YouTube channel, and this is one. I've been watching a few of her videos over the past the past night, morning. It's really good stuff. And she does kind of like long monologues, 40-50 minutes, maybe over an hour, some of them, and she's like talking about spirituality, stuff that's going on in the world at the moment, how she's feeling, how she's coping with stuff. She's like a really interesting character, really interesting. And but in some of her videos, I'm not even sure when she's uploaded a lot of them, because I think sometimes I'm watching a video and it's like 2 years old, and I'm thinking, oh, this is something that is new, because it's new to me, but it's something she's put up a couple of years ago. But in a couple of the, I think the recent ones, she's talking about maybe like stopping her channel and giving up, and what's the point of doing it, and all this kind of business. And I totally understand, like, where she's coming from. I hope I'm gonna leave a comment in one of her videos and tell her that I've done this video. And maybe she'll see it. So I'm kind of like, hi, if you get to see it, hello. I think yeah, I understand totally where she's coming from. Because I was basically going to scrap this channel and give up doing this stuff, because I've done videos and I thought my content's not probably great. I think people click on it and maybe some of the titles they think, oh, what's this? And then they just listen to 2 minutes of me and then, or 30 seconds, and they're gone. They don't even watch it. But and my content, yeah, it's not that great. But sometimes I do think, like, if I was someone else, if someone else was doing my channel, I'd watch it and I'd subscribe to it. I would think it would be good. And I'm a very harsh critic of myself. And you know, I understand where she's coming from. When she said that, you know, she spews out her heart and soul on videos, and like it just feels like pointless. And I know exactly what you mean. I know what you mean. Even if maybe you're not coming out with like the most profound stuff, you know, I might do a video on something that happened or something I thought of. But sometimes when you do a video, it's like you think, fuck, you'll have a thought and you'll think, yeah, that's interesting. I'll do a video on this. And then you get back to home or wherever you are, and you get your shit out and you sit there and you try and explain what's on your mind, and you do this video and it's like 25 minutes or whatever, and you think you've put some things together that are profound. Sounds a bit arrogant, but you know, you think this is quite an important thought, and I want to explain this to people, and I think people will find this interesting. And then you do it, and then you spend ages fucking uploading it. Like when I was in Mexico, it was taking sometimes days to upload shit because the internet was so bad. And you put it up and you spend all this time doing it, and then you just get no views, like 0 views. And you think, what am I doing this for? Like, I did shitloads of videos when I was in Mexico. They're all deleted now. And I was like, all of that time I spent doing them videos and like thinking, somebody's going to find this interesting. Somebody's going to find this interesting. I really want to impart this thought to people. And it's just like, it was a total waste of time. Complete waste of time. But weird thing with the light going on here. I've got the computer at a really weird angle because I don't want people to be able to see what a mess my front room's in, so it's like weird. But yeah, it's like you think, what's the point? What's the fucking point? But I've forgotten Kismet. I've forgotten her name again. Kismet Spiral. What I'd say to you is like, don't be despondent. Don't get disheartened, because I mean, really, to be fair, like, you're doing like really well. I think, in my opinion, you're doing like really, really well, because you've got about 1,500 subs or something from what I can work out, and I can see that people are engaging, people are commenting, and people are liking it, and it's like you're doing like 50-minute monologues, and you just get sitting in front of the camera, turning the computer on, sitting in front of the computer and talking about what's on your mind. And people are watching it. People are sitting and they're listening and they're commenting on what you said. That's a real fucking achievement. It really is. Because you're not on there, you're not like one of these content creators. You're not going on there going, hi guys, welcome to the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the like button, blah, 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 all this. It's funny, you know, there's people on YouTube, they never forget to tell people to not forget, do they, to like and subscribe. They never forget. It's like, it's all so cynical. All the clapping and all the this and that. And you're not doing content like that. You're doing genuine, honest content. And I'd say you're getting a fair few views. You're not chasing stuff. You're not one of these people who's doing a video every day, and it's a video. I just dropped my book. It's a video about, you know, the current thing. Oh, let's talk about Putin. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. You're talking about really interesting shit, and I think it's really interesting stuff. And it's really, really helpful for me personally, because you're asking about what you wanted your views, or to hear about what people got from your channel. And one of the things I've mentioned previously in a lot of videos that are now gone is like I'm really interested in this subject that I'd loosely term as gang stalking, although I don't even know whether gang stalking actually exists. I know there's this whole gang stalking in the TI community and all this, but this really, it's an umbrella phrase for me, but to describe these weird fucking things that happen when you're outside in your town or wherever you live. These little weird little things that happen that it's like nobody else is talking about it. Hardly anybody else is talking about it. Sometimes Thomas Sheridan kind of goes into that, and sometimes I've heard Christian Morris do it. Sometimes he'll talk about weird thing that happened in the supermarket and stuff like this. But it's like I find it endlessly fascinating, and I have tried for years, because I think this has been going on a lot longer than Jibby Jab. This weird behaviour with people. I don't know what it is. I think it's been going on at least 10 or so years, and it's definitely got worse. Like the past couple of years. I mean, it's definitely going sort of exponential now. Strange behaviour. And I've been looking. Big jet coming over. Military jet. You probably can't hear it. I've been looking for ages and ages to really find channels where people are talking about this stuff, this like weird stuff that goes on, like in society, like in modern times. Like in one of the videos I watched, I'm not sure when it was from, whether it's recent or not. You were talking about you went in a coffee shop and the woman overcharged you, and then you thought, oh shit, I'm sure she overcharged me. And then you went back the next day, and then you realised she had overcharged you because of the price you paid that day. And then you mentioned it to her, and then she just went all weird. And then, I mean, I have shit like that all the time. It's like virtually every time I go out. Just now, about 25 minutes ago, I was walking down the street, just up here, and there was this woman. You know when you feel someone, she's walking towards me, I'm some old lady. I say she looked like, remember that programme Sorry, that comedy with Ronnie Corbett? She looked like the mother, Timothy Lumsden's mother. She looked like her, but shorter, white hair and like these shopping bags. And she was looking at me, and I caught her looking at me, and I was sort of like, I smiled at her and nodded, like, we're just coming together. And I was like, and she just looked away, like, looked down, like she was petrified. And I'm like, what? What the fuck? What? Really? And then I went to Sainsbury's a couple of minutes later to get some beers, and it's Corona, and I like Corona. And I bought one case, it's six cans for £5. And I bought them, and as I was buying them, I thought, shit, I want another one of them. I want to get another case, because they're a bit small. And so I thought, I'll get another one. And I said to the woman behind the counter, I said, tell you what, charge me for 2 and I'm going to go and get another one. And she was like, oh yeah, no problem, yeah, I'll do that. And then I turned around, went up the aisle, got another one and come back. And there was 3 people, one of them had a mask on. They're standing like behind me, and I'm not holding them up. They probably had to wait like 4 more seconds than they would have done. And I gave it. I said, yeah. And I kind of just turned to them, and they were all standing there looking at me, and I said, "Oh yeah, so yeah, I didn't realise I forgot I'm an alcoholic." And I was like, "All right, I don't expect them to like fall on the floor laughing, but I thought it raised a sort of like." They're just like, and it's like, fucking, what has happened to people? It's so weird. But you're talking about that sort of stuff, and I can listen to people talking about that stuff all day. I'm like really glad I found a channel where somebody will talk about that sort of stuff, or just mention it a couple of times in one video. It's endlessly fascinating. I think it's really, really interesting. You know, and it's much more interesting to these people who they're all talking about the current thing, or prepping, or this or that, or blah blah blah. It's like it's much more interesting, and so yeah, I think your channel's really good. Don't get disheartened. Like I say, I understand totally where you're coming from. Totally. But I think the stuff you're doing, it's really, really important. And I think from the subs you've got and the engagement you're getting, a lot of people are getting a lot of value out of what you're doing. And I know how it feels sometimes. You're talking to a camera and you think, God, what was I doing? And like, I've spilled my guts out, and like nobody's listening. And it does feel like that, even though to other people it looks like, oh, you're just standing in front of a camera rambling. I think it's really valuable what you're doing, and what you can do. Like I mentioned in a comment I put, or what she can do, what you can do if you see this. I mentioned it in a comment, like for you to be able to just sit in front of a camera, right, unplanned, and talk for 50 minutes or however long with no pretension, right, off the top of your head, and just to have people engage in that and just sit and listen, that's a real talent. That is a real talent that you've got there. And it's like, I think you should be proud of it. You should be proud of the stuff that you've done. And like I said, there was a guy I was talking about. He was called Millennial Woes. His name was. He's still going on Telegram or one of these things. He's like this kind of alt-right, like dissident voice from the right, a Scottish bloke. And he had a really big channel, right? Loads of subs, and he would always some of his stuff was quite good in the past, but he really started to grate this guy. He used to grate. He became grating and just kind of, oh God, just couldn't bear to listen to him after a while. 3 or 4 years ago. But this guy, he would always say things like, I've been thinking, really trying to do a video about this this Theresa May and something situation. I can't get it right. I need to. I've been trying to do this video, but I can't get it right. And I used to, what does he mean he can't get it right? And then when I started doing YouTube videos myself, and like thinking about what he used to talk about, it occurred to me that when he made his videos, he would do things like he would deliver phrases in a certain way, and then he'd say, "It's fucking idiots." And another thing that came on my horizon last week, and it's all the way he was doing his videos, it's all rehearsed. He's trying to make himself like I mean, and it's up for him to do it, you know, he can do what he fucking wants, but it's like it's insincere, you know. He's trying to make this perfect video, and it's vain and narcissistic. He used to do live streams, and he'd spend the first 10 minutes of the live stream talking about the lighting. Oh, I've got the blue light behind me. I think it looks rather good. I know. He'd literally spend 10 minutes talking about the lighting, and it's like, Shh, fuck all that shit. You just sit in front of the camera, talk, and then you finish. Bye bye, bang, you're gone. So that's a real talent you've got. You can do that. You're not sitting there going, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to say that, then I'll bring in this bit, and then oh, this will come in. You're just talking, and it's really good stuff. So please don't get disheartened. And my advice to you would be, if you don't want to do it anymore, right, just stop for a bit and just leave the channel there, and just stop for a bit, because at some point you'll probably go back to it. But just do them, well, as I'm sure you probably do them as and when you want. But yeah, I think it's really good stuff. I really do. So that's that, I suppose. I think I've said all I was going to say about that. And so there was not, because I was going to do a video anyway, not about this, but other stuff. And yeah, just while I'm on the subject of things that happen, weird things, just the other day, just a couple of things. I was walking down the high street, and Monday it was, about 11:30. And people walking around doing their shopping, doing the waddle, the waddle, and all the staring, and I hear this noise coming from above, and I'm like, fucking hell, what's that? And first I thought it was like a microlight going over. I thought it was like a microlight was going to come over, like, a microlight aircraft. I'm looking up, and there's the buildings are quite high, so you can only see so much of the sky. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? What is it? I'm looking up, looking up and down, looking up. And then I think it was a Hawker Hurricane flew over. About 8 or 9 seconds it flew over. Bloody Hawker Hurricane. It could have been a Spitfire, but the shape of the wings were round. I think it was a Hawker Hurricane. It might have been a Spitfire, but I think that's what it was. And I was just like, 7 or 8 seconds of, fucking hell, it's Hawker Hurricane in the fucking sky. You don't see them every day. And it went over, and then I just looked up and down the street. As soon as it was out of sight, I looked up and down. Everyone's just walking. Nobody's looking up. Nobody's going, oh, yeah. I think years ago, people would have looked up and stopped, and nobody's interested. They're just these fucking blinkers on. I think it's so weird. It's so weird what's going on with people. And then I went to Marks and Spencer's, buy some carrots, because I heard they do cheap carrots, and they do. And so they've got this weird setup in there. It's the first time actually I've ever been in that Marks and Spencer's, because I don't like Marks and Spencer's, but I went in there to get these carrots. And they've got this weird setup with the tills. It's like the tills are like in the middle of the shop. Like usually they're like, I remember that back in the day, like Woolworths and that, the tills are always like at the end of the shop. Like you do your shop and then you come to the end. The tills like in the middle of the shop. And it's like there's only space for about 2 people to stand with their stuff, and then there's like a big corridor where people are walking up and down. So everyone queuing was queuing kind of down an aisle, and there was this like gap where people are walking like this, whereas we're queuing this way. People are walking back, and so there's a woman. It's like she's next in the queue, but she's like leaning against like a pillar in front of me, and I got behind her, and then people started getting behind me, and then so I'm kind of just keeping an eye on what's going on in front at the till. So the till, it gets to the point where it's going down, and like the thing is like the conveyor belt has got a big space on it, and the people are starting to go through. But this woman in front of me, she's like she's just like looking at her phone. And so I kind of said to her, like from behind her, I said, oh, are you in the queue? Because I started to think maybe she's not actually queuing. Maybe she's just standing there looking at her phone. And like, you know, I can see what's going to happen. Other people are going to come in, you know, cut in front, and it's going to be like what usually happens. So I said to her, I said, are you in the queue? And she just kind of goes, she didn't turn round. She just kind of goes, she just walked forward and it was like, that's fucking weird. You think someone would at least go, they'd either tell me to fuck off, yes, I'm in the queue, or they'd go, oh, yeah. She just went. It was so weird. And I was watching her as she was getting served, and she was just like a zombie. Like a fucking zombie. It was just bizarre. I think there's something really weird going on. I don't think it's just that. I think it's many things. But yeah, like going back to this Kismet Spiral, what she was talking about, and like what you get from what do people get from her videos. I can remember 7 years ago. I'm into Killing Joke music band, Killing Joke. And the singer, Jazz, sometimes he does lectures, talks about his life and music and the importance of doing what you want to do and all this kind of stuff. Sometimes, occasionally, he does a lecture. And I went along to a lecture of his. It was in St Pancras Old Church in King's Cross, 2015. And I got there about half an hour early, and he was out the front on his own, and I had a book for him, so we had a chat, and like watch an interview with Jazz Coleman if you don't know who he is. He's an eccentric. He's a kind of a well-known crazy person, but he's an eccentric. And I was talking to him about stuff, and I gave him this book about chemtrails. The first book that Eleanor Freeland wrote. I gave him this book, so I asked Jazz, I want this. And he's looking at this book, and he's like, for about 2 minutes, not saying anything, he's looking at this book, like, oh. And then, we're talking about this and that, and he's a really interesting guy. But I remember after that conversation, I had this really melancholy feeling, a slightly melancholy feeling, and it's like, because I can remember when I was a kid, like in my hometown when I grew up, when I was like 15, 16, 17, there were all these weird people around. There was all these like bikers and eccentrics and kind of slightly dodgy, druggy people and like really a bit wild people, and you'd see him in town. It'd be like, oh, there's what's his name? And you go and speak to him and like, what have you been doing? Oh, I've been doing this, been doing that. Oh, what if I? There was all these weird people, and it was like, and when I spoke to Jazz, it was like, I was reminded of them times when there were all these like characters, and it's like, fucking hell, I remember when there used to be loads of people like him, and now they're just not around anymore. These characters, it's like, have you tried to have a conversation with people recently? It's like you try and talk to them, and it's just like, they've got nothing to say. You try and talk about stuff like, shit that's going on, and they're just like, they haven't got a clue. It's just, oh, what gig you going to? Duh. So with the Kismet Spiral videos, like, I kind of get that feeling that it's like, I remember when people like this were around. I remember like in the 90s in London, I used to go to the sort of what was it called? Megatropolis nightclub, and these people who used to be involved in the road protests in Leighton, and I guess not crusties, but kind of alternative type people. And I always think like, I remember them people, like, they were cool. Whatever happened to them? Where did they all go? They all just seemed to disappear. People with character, and they had something to say, and they were a bit feisty, and they said what they thought. They didn't give a shit. It's like they've all gone. It's like they've all fucking gone. Anyway, that's that. And just two other things. Been hearing a lot about this dead internet theory. This idea that it's just most of the internet is just bots, and like you're getting farmed to look at certain things, and like lots of it's just bullshit, like subscribers and all this sort of stuff on YouTube channels. And you know what? I've noticed this for several months, right? I've had my suspicions. And I'm convinced on this one. Nobody will convince me otherwise. I might be wrong. People will disagree with me. They'll think I'm crazy. I'm talking shit. But I'm fucking convinced, right? Now, here's an experiment you can do. Right? Here's an experiment you can do. Try this and just see what you think. You might think I'm right. You might think I'm wrong. Go on Russell Brand's YouTube channel, right? Go on Russell Brand's YouTube and just look at some of the comments. Click on any video, right? And just read some of the comments. Read a few of the comments. And then click on another one of his videos and read some of the comments. And then click on another one of his videos and read some of them comments. Right? I'm convinced they're all fake comments. They're all the same. They're not word for word the same, but they're all like, it's like a bot has done it. It's like an AI has got the gist of what he's talking about in the video, and it's put a comment up. They're all like well structured, and they're all I was feeling really bad this morning, but I was overjoyed to see that you put another video up, Russ. Absolutely hilarious what you said about Boris. And it's like they're all the same. They're all like kind of well structured sentences. They're not like genuine YouTube comments. Like you'll always see someone who'll just say some random shit, and they're just not in there. They're not in there, those type of comments. And it's the same on this channel of this guy, Charlie Veach, this prick who's been knocking around for years and years. I mean, that guy's a dickhead, but it's irrelevant. You look on his channel, it's the same thing. And this guy's got 250,000 subs, I think it is he's got. And I cannot for the life of me believe that the stuff he's doing, he's walking around Manchester, where he's now based, and he's basically harassing people. And his behaviour, I used to be a psychiatric nurse, his behaviour is basically like somebody when they're mildly elated, when they've got bipolar affective disorder. That's what his behaviour's like. It's just like he's walking around, he's talking about the first thing he sees. Oh, look at that dog. Oh, there's a doggy down there. Oh, Mr. Streetlight. Mr. Streetlight's on orange. Now he's on green. Oh, now he's on red. It's like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? How can people be fucking watching these videos? It's just nonsense. And it's like, all the comments, it's like the same thing. It's like they're all of the same vein in all of the videos. Nice one, Charlie. Really great vid. That guy you spoke to was a real dickhead. You really sorted him out. They're all like positive. All of the comments. And it's the same on this guy, Dr. Jonathan Campbell. Dr. John Campbell, who does these. He's like this guy's a gatekeeper, and it's like the same thing. They're all the same. Oh, really see how you're having to be very careful about what you say, Dr. Campbell. Well done. Hope YouTube don't ban you. They're all the same, these well-structured sentences. They don't look like real, genuine YouTube comments at all. You just go to some other random videos and the comments are all totally different. Everyone's putting their different things up, like, but they're all the fucking same. Russell Brand, Charles Veitch, and John Campbell, Dr. John Campbell. You go and have a look at it. Like, I'm convinced it's AI bots, and I'm not saying, right? I'm not saying that Russell Brand is a shill, or like Charles Veitch is a shill. I mean, it probably fucking is. Or this other guy. I mean, they could be, could not be. I don't care. But they don't have to be. The point is, they don't have to be, because all it has to be is for someone somewhere to go, right, we'll do him. Yeah, do him. Give him 5 million subscribers and put the algorithm on him, put the AI bot on him, and just give him loads and loads of positive comments, all backing up what he says, like leading people down a certain path in a certain direction. That's all it has to take. So the people actually making the videos, they don't have to be shills. So that, I think there's something to it, this dead internet theory thing. Oh, finally, the other thing I was going to talk about, just very, very, very briefly. So the other day I got a message on Facebook from someone I hadn't heard from for a couple of years. Someone I know from gigs and that. Bloody hell, this is 36 minutes. I've got to finish this off. Don't know him that well. Met him at gigs, like I say. And he's all right, quite a nice guy. He was an early adopter of that. He's into Greta Thunberg, the whole fucking works. But he's a nice bloke. He's a good bloke. I ain't got nothing against him. I ain't got a problem with him. Anyway, he just sent me a message on Facebook randomly. Oh, I haven't seen you for a bit. How you doing? Oh, there was an event. And he was like, oh, we didn't see you there. We missed you at this thing. So I replied to him. And when I replied, I was just kind of, not for any real reason, I was just brutally honest with him. And I said, I'm really fucking pissed off. I don't even know if I want to be alive anymore. I'm sick of all this shit. I can't identify with people. I can't engage with people. I feel like I'm living in an episode of The Prisoner on some acid. 3 years ago, I started doing some vocal material with a band in Japan. I really thought it was going to go somewhere. Our music's pretty crap, but I really thought I could start doing something. Then all this crap started with the COVID, and then it's like, that's it, the end of that. I'll probably never be able to go there again. I sent him this, I was probably typing for about 10 minutes. It was quite a long thing, but I was just brutally honest with him and just saying, you know what, the only thing I've got left to live for in my life is to go to Mexico and look after the cats that I look after over there. That's really my only motivation in life anymore. And I kind of pressed return, sent it to him. So he didn't respond, like no response, right? No response. And that's like, I think it's 3 days ago, just like no response, which is fucking fine, right? It's not like I don't harbour any ill will towards the guy. I probably fucking, if someone had done that to me, I probably would have been like, you know what, Jesus Christ, are they pissed or what? What's going on there? But you know, that's not the issue, right? That's not the issue. The point is, right, these, like on Facebook and that, these are the same people, right? Let's just say randomly, right? I mean, I was brutally honest with the guy. I told him that I'm just sick of everything. I've had enough. These are the same people who, like, if that hadn't happened, right, and just by chance I'd like randomly topped myself, like hung myself or something, or I fucking slipped my wrist or jumped off a cliff, just like yesterday or whatever, if I'd have randomly done that and then he'd have found out about it, right? These are the same people. There would have been a post up on Facebook saying, "Oh no, oh no, sorry, so sad to hear so and so has died. Oh, mental health is a real problem these days. Please, if you're feeling bad, don't be scared to reach out to me." You know, you see that all the time. When someone tops themselves, people put this stuff up. Oh, mental health. But when you actually fucking do it, and I wasn't, but it's like when you actually say, "Fucking hell, you know what? I've fucking had enough of this fucking life." And like as I've had conversations with a friend of mine in the past, I think for any actual real well-adjusted adult, topping yourself is probably something that crosses your mind like briefly, like once every day. It's just like, you know, what am I fucking doing here? And people have agreed with me, but people won't talk about it because they don't want to get all shit from people. You know, they don't want to get like people fussing over them or being worried about them. But when you actually do, it's just interesting. When you actually do it, people are like, don't know. You know, it's like when you're at work and people are like, "How are you doing?" So I'm fucking pissed off. People are like, "Oh God, he's in a fucking mood." It's like people come around and go, "Oh God, what's going on? What's going on with you?" Maybe women are a bit different. I know women like talk to each other a bit differently in that way, but I thought it was really interesting, you know. And I've often suspected it when I see these posts like people put up on Facebook, and it's like, "Oh, I lost a friend of mine. Please." It's like almost like they're virtue signalling over someone's death, you know. Anyway, that was that. So, yeah, end of video. Bye bye.